We'll start with Graham Allison's Destined for War. Can America and China escape Thucydides' trap? Ooh, and it's a national bestseller, the nation being the US. Allison says that China and the United States are heading toward a war neither wants. The reason is Thucydides' trap. When a rising power threatens to displace a ruling one, the most likely outcome is war. The phenomenon is as old as history itself. About the Peloponnesian War that devastated ancient Greece, Thucydides explained that it was the rise of Athens and the fear that this instilled in Sparta that made war inevitable. Well, we looked at the Peloponnesian War right at the start of the course. It told us lots of things about bargaining, audience costs, credible commitments, transparency, morality, religion. There's so much in there. But the inevitability of war? That's a very surface level reading of Thucydides. Allison continues, an irresistible rising China is on course to collide with an immovable America. Both Xi Jinping and Donald Trump promise to make their countries great again. But unless China is willing to moderate its ambitions, or Washington can agree to share primacy in the Pacific, a trade conflict, cyber attack, or accident at sea could be the spark that ignites a major war. So, for Allison, at least, China and the US are going to go to war. Next up, Aaron L. Friedberg, A Contest for Supremacy. China, America, and the Struggle for Mastery in Asia. This book is, it goes in a similar direction to Allison's, but the title overstates the case a little bit. That tends to happen with publishers. Why sell a book with a nuanced title when a more dramatic one will sell more copies? Friedberg is looking at the potential for conflict between the US and China, as he's concerned that a balance of power politics in the region and the world are not entirely stable. That is, it's a fair enough concern. Our failure to predict the end of the Cold War was based on the idea that the bipolar system was stable. Friedberg plays his cards a little closer to his chest though, and rightly so. He doesn't argue that it's inevitable that China and the US are going to go to war with each other, but he does look to some instances in which the chances that it might happen are greater. Right, next on the list, Peter Navarro's Crouching Tiger, what China's militarism means for the world. Ugh. Right, the title is a clear play on the Ang Lee film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but of course Ang Lee's from Taiwan. Hey ho. Navarro again is asking whether the US is going to go to war with China. Mercifully, he doesn't answer his question, but he does fill his book with lots of other loaded questions. Each of the 45 short chapters starts with a silly question, such as chapter 3. Question. Is China rapidly building its military to guard the trading routes and global investments it needs for robust economic growth? 1. No. 2. Yes. The writing style is, it's both irritating and patronising, frankly. Oh, and Thucydides again rears his deterministic head in chapter 39. Next on the list, we have Richard Bernstein and Ross Munro's The Coming Conflict with China. Written back in 1997, the title is certainly quite deterministic, but again, that can tell us more about book publishers than anything. Published 23 years ago, the conflict hasn't arrived yet, but perhaps the authors are great prophets, or maybe their crystal ball can see a lot further than mine. One thing I found interesting about this book is its comments on Japan. It says, the United States needs to cease viewing Japan as an abnormal nation, existing in a state of permanent military weakness and diplomatic pariahhood. The dilemma here is considerable. The United States cannot block Chinese hegemony in Asia unless Japan is an equal and willing partner in the process. But if the United States pushes Japan, the results could well be an anti-American reaction there. Well, to a great degree, US policy towards Japan in the intervening years has been to encourage a more militarist Japan, and Japan's policy, certainly through the Abe years, has been to respond favourably. So perhaps Bernstein and Monroe were onto something there,